I think Harry Reid should have told Max Baucus, go back to Montana and go back to your cattle ranch or whatever. And we're just going to pass this bill with 50 Democrats and get it out before the August recess, and we would have health care done. Instead, they're farting around. I don't know.
Ron, isn't that what Republicans would have done if they had somebody doing
Yes.
Wouldn't they have said, you're done?
Republicans are very good at enforcing party discipline. You're not the only skunk in the, what was it, skunk in the laundry?
Skunk in the lawn party. I got
skunk in the laundry, not the only skunk in the laundry. Me too. I have to say that I think everybody's got a good point. I can't look this way and talk at the same time.
We can move your...
Everybody's got a good point here. I mean, if the alternative to Barack Obama is Sarah Palin, I think we know whose side we're going to be on.
Yeah.
You know, but I too am getting impatient and understand that, yes, Barack Obama's political power does come from people like you and people like us. But the system that he now confronts and must work with is geared to protect the status quo. And that is what it energetically is going to try to do. I mean, you know, what does it tell you that Barack Obama cuts a deal with Mr. Original Blue Dog Democrat Billy Towson, who is now, after he rams through the Medicare Prescription Drug Act, which is a big kind of shoveling of money to the prescription, to the big pharma, he quits and goes to work for Big Pharma, and he's now back lobbying in Washington and cuts a deal with the White House that says Medicare cannot negotiate with Big Pharma for lower drug prices. Now, we're desperately trying to figure out a way to pay for health care and keep Medicare solvent, save money in Medicare and all that. Why would you cut a deal with Big Pharma that didn't allow the federal government, with all its purchasing power, to negotiate with the pharmaceutical industry? It's madness. Why would Billy Towson? I mean, the guy isn't even an elected official anymore. He's a mook. He's a lobbyist. And you're cutting deals with this guy behind Congress's back? That's not good. And I agree with you about don't ask, don't tell in the Defense of Marriage Act.
Yeah.
It is time to get off the fence with this and stop playing patty cake about gay civil rights. This is a civil rights issue. Come on, stand up and fight for it.
Let's talk about civil rights for a minute. That was really interesting because at the same time he was continuing to say what he said in the campaign.
Microphone.
About
it's useful if
we just do this and it works fine.
Just hold on to them and talk into
I will.
them from about 4 inches.
Talking about what he had said in the campaign about not liking the Defense of Marriage Act, but then going to court and using Bush administration language to try to enforce it. What's going to happen to change Obama's, not his words, but his action on issues like gay civil rights, gay marriage?
Action.
Well, no, but
do it.
How is it going to get there? Who's going to do it?
I think, if anything, I mean, you know, people have said this on health care, that I think he's almost overlearned the lessons of the Clinton administration in terms of, you know, the Clinton administration wrote the whole health bill in private and then tried to ram it through Congress. And so I think Obama has, you're right, stayed out of it too much and does now really need to get behind, so, you know, draw those lines in the sand, right, and say, this is what I want, and public plan, period, and get behind it. You know, he's been not as involved enough. And I think, you know, it's the same thing. I'm sure he's thinking the economy, I mean, let's give the guy credit. He inherited a flaming bag of political dog shit from George Bush. I mean, 2 wars, this economy, the healthcare system. So, you know, it may be that he's saying, oh, you know, we're going to wait on defense of marriage or on, you know, because there's such, you know, contentious issues. But I agree with you. You know what? They're not contentious issues anymore. 70% or something of the American people think don't ask, don't tell is a ridiculous law. You know, so I agree with you that, you know, I get impatient on some issues too, and that's definitely one of them.
He learned the wrong lessons from Clinton.
Yeah.
Clinton ran for president saying the ability of
Bill Clinton said, he came out the other day, oh, I'm for gay marriage. Oh, now you are. Oh, my God. Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, he ran as it was a civil rights issue, and then suddenly we get don't ask, don't tell from him. You know, he's learning a lesson of health care as well. You know, don't ram it down Congress's throat. The lesson he should have learned from health care is don't pity-patty around with the industries that are screwing up the system in the first place. Start telling people what you're going to do, not asking their permission.
Yeah. No, and I think you're
still-
right that, a lot of these states, I mean, when Iowa is really out ahead of the president and taking some leadership on gay rights,
Yeah.
Iowa is out ahead of Washington State, which
Yeah.
has as many
Everybody's
Democrats
ahead of
listen,
DCs.
those of us in California, we just got fucking faced by, I don't even know, Albania? Who just...
Yeah.
Didn't someone just okay gay marriage?
I don't think it was Albania, but I don't know.
No.
Those wacky Albanians.
That's so...
Tom.
I was just going to say, the point that Ron was making about Billy Tozen coming in and cutting a deal with Barack Obama not to have more than $80 billion worth of negotiation for pharmaceuticals, the administration has acknowledged that. But if you read that Washington Post article, there was one little sentence in there that said that the administration is also saying that deal does not preclude Congress or the administration from passing a separate law that will require Medicaid Part D to negotiate drug prices. It just can't be part of this bill.
Correct.
And so my guess is that he's doing the political dance he had. Now, again, I realize I am almost breaking my back to give this guy the benefit of the doubt. And in 3 months, we will all know. And if he turns into another Bill Clinton, you're going to hear me sounding like Michael Savage. But right now, I am seeing all these pieces. I just keep seeing these small little pieces, like that one little sentence in that article that says, okay, he's going to go along with Billy Tozen. Oh, by the way, he can completely blow that out of the water with a separate bill. With regard to Don't Ask, Don't Tell and DOMA, I'm just baffled. The conventional wisdom that I'm hearing is that he got a lot of pushback from the higher-ups in the military, and he just didn't want to take that battle on until after health care was done. I'm not here to apologize for the administration or defend them. I really am not. And I don't believe that that's a strong enough argument, frankly. I'm with you guys on that. But on the health care thing, I still think this is so complex, and we're talking about 15% of the U.S. budget. We're talking about companies. I mean, United Healthcare is paying their CEO now $773 million. This is the company that paid their last CEO $1.78 billion. They're getting most of that, much of that, a good chunk of that from AARP, from the fill in the holes. And so they're trying to create, Business Week just did an article about how they've already set up to screw us. They've already won. Time will tell. As the Zen Master said, we'll see.
I can add something to that, too. When we talk about Congress, Obama is turning a lot of this healthcare stuff over to Congress. And the idea is he doesn't want to make the mistake that Hillary Clinton and her task force made back in '93. But when you analyze that and you think to yourself, the Congress is already, no offense to sex workers, a bunch of whores. They're already on the payroll of Big Pharma. That's why there is any debate at all. I mean, goddamn. How many people in the United States would like to have health care? All of us? So where's the problem? Why, the 535 members of the House and the Senate are supposed to represent the people, but they don't. They represent, like Molly Ivins said, these people dance with the people that brung them. And I'm sorry to bring this up, until we get corporate money out of campaign finance, we're screwed. And the only alternative is to apply so much honest grassroots pressure. And I don't mean to these people that are up there now, but to Democrats who will challenge those people and elect them. Democrats who are not going to Washington to have a career. They're going there to do a job and go the hell back home and do whatever they were doing to begin with.
Yeah.
So,
there's only one congressman, wasn't it Gerald Nadler of New York, that said, yeah, I'll give up my public plan until you get yours. One of them.
Yeah.
Well, oddly enough, it was Tom Coburn, the insane C Street Republican, who in the either the Finance Committee or the Health and Works Committee in the Senate.
Dr. Tom Coburn?
Dr. Tom Coburn, the
one that sterilized
gynecologist.
a woman without her consent?
Yes, yeah, and the gynecologist who was offering medical advice and therefore
John
has a vow
Ensign.
of secrecy to
John Ensign.
John Ensign, right? In any case, right. He proposed a piece of legislation.
I have a gynecologist.
I'm going to turn you into a Tom Coburn fan here, believe it or not. And Tom Coburn proposed a piece of legislation in that committee